All right, for the fifth episode, I am Anubix. I'm going to pass it to my left, which is Jesse. Go ahead, you kick it off.
Am I muted? There we go. Name's Jesse Bentley, so known as Serd. Yeah, here he is. He disappeared. You're also muted.
And hello, my bad about that. My name is Darius. I'll go by either Forever Alex on Discord.
You're muted.
I am. I'm always muted. All right, for you guys who are just joining us, you see that we have a new face on the podcast for tonight, Darius. So we just want to welcome him in. First and foremost, I have took it light and easy this weekend on the news front. Just been kind of drilling down on some other stuff leading up to Black Hat, but we will be going over a couple different things that kind of jumped out. First and foremost, I want to talk about the Nordisk issue that happened with the software development. First and foremost, Novo Nordisk basically had an issue with their GitHub. Access tokens was the point of the attack. One thing that really jumped out to me was not just this attack in particular, but just the wrapping up of attacks in the last couple months and leading up to now. Jesse, what's your take on this one in particular?
So when I first saw this, one of the things the journalist was pointing out was that they believe that as the capabilities of offensive AI is increasing, that these attacks are becoming more and more common. And I think another contribution we're seeing is the increase in vibe coding, which vibe coding's become a lot more consistent than it was, 1 to 2 years ago. But I think that we're still neglecting people actually doing secure coding. I think that's what's going to continue to lead to this arms race. And you don't see much about people talking about blue team AI. And I think that until that side catches up, it's just going to get worse.
Darius, did you hear about this? Is this your first time hearing about it?
I was just about to say it's my first time hearing about it.
Okay. So yeah, again, in short, there was a breach, and the breach was the means that they used was basically a single GitHub access token, and through that they were able to. When did this take place? This was on the 11th of June. That's when they first detected unauthorized access. And then let's see.
They found credentials sitting in the repository and started using lateral movement off that.
700, yeah, it's 700,000 files, up to 1.3 terabytes of data, and then demanding 25 million in ransom.
Allegedly, they said that the credentials were artifacts from the AI coding, allegedly.
Yeah, generated analysis, programming development, up to 3 to competitors, 3 to 5. Yeah,
I mean, back off of just what Jesse was saying, even a little bit. I just feel like some of the most basic principles that are taught to a lot of people, even just getting started into cybersecurity, is not to leak sensitive credentials, not to hard code any sensitive credentials. And I feel like just something like this, I feel like anybody that was able to pass an interview and work as a software engineer, or anybody that is pushing code to production or anything like that at a company, I just feel like either if they did personally make this mistake. Maybe they have been vibe coding too much and then haven't even been thinking about something like this, or it was just the AI that ended up like pushing or hard coding these credentials that ended up getting leaked. It's just my
Nice.
personal like thought on it.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it definitely stood out to me. Again, I'm trying to catch up as quickly as possible with some of the news from today, and that was one of the first ones that jumped out to me because again, like when you start looking at simple things like this, again, to your point, you would understand through that software validation lifecycle or whatnot what stage is making sure stuff like this doesn't happen, right? Making sure, as you said, like, you're not hard coding any credentials into some type of space where any individual has access to, right? But I mean, on top of that, just like GitHub itself has been getting attacked as well. So this is not just like, a isolated attack or anything like that. Again, over the last couple of months leading up to now, we've been seeing this ramp up so much more aggressively than even like last year or the same time. So I think that right there is one of the key components of just seeing how much AI is really not just maturing the threat landscape, but also like increasing the timeline of attacks, right, and breaches. Another one, what was the one that Jesse you were talking about? It was the FTC.
Oh, the one where they released the report on what?
So basically, the FTC warns of a record 3.5 billion in losses by means of imposter scamming. This was for the fiscal year of 2025. So yeah, 3.5 billion in scams in 2025 reported by the FTC. And this report, they've been reporting losses nearly tripling since 2020. So right around when COVID started. Victims lost 1 billion, and this is through impersonations, basically bank impersonating individuals for very lucrative scams. I mean, this is last year FTC announced law enforcement action under the rule. So Media Alpha, Government Imposter Scheme, American Taxers, Blackstone Legal, Accelerated. A lot of these I've never even heard of.
It looks like the majority of them were impersonating employees. So that was
of the actual bank. Okay.
yeah, that was the actual attack that they saw the most increase on. And I could contribute this to AI as well. One of the AI projects that I worked on recently was an OSINT project so that I could kick off my local AI model that I've got. It would spin up workers and start scanning social media, LinkedIn, everything like that to gather as much information on the name that I give it. So you can get all of that, throw it into something like Claude and say, build me a profile on this person. Then suddenly you have everything you need to pretend you're them.
So it's like it creates a sock puppet account.
Literally. Yeah, it's
Nice.
ridiculous and how fast it is and simple to put up.
And what all do you need?
So you just need a simple enough local model, such as like I'm using Gemma 34B, which is way too powerful for what it's doing, and then a few workers that'll actually do the work.
Nice.
Then you just have it kick off those workers.
Is that a dense model or?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait until DEF CON, man. I feel like this year is going to be very unique.
A lot of AI.
Yeah, because like I would say last year you really saw it, right? The year before that, it was kind of like it was there, but then it really wasn't. But like, yeah, last year you saw it was AI. It was just all over the place. And then like just now from the beginning of this year till now, I mean, what has it been? AI, like there's been nothing outside of that. So I mean, I think from here on out, DEF CON as a whole is going to change. So just I'm excited to see where that goes.
Here's a question for you where you're in research. When are we going to see the first agentic malware? Malware that's reaching back to an MLC2 and starts evolving on its own.
Man, I think that's the same answer to the other questions that are in that same category, right? Like when you really talk about agentic, like on what level, on what layer are we really talking about? Are we talking like full on, like thinks for itself, or at least imitates a thought in its process, or are you talking like, you know, it can look and see, oh, this has this piece of software on it. Let me write some code that can bypass this if it's this version. Like what at what layer are we talking?
So something that I've actually been working on, trying to build an offensive pipeline. I have a Windows 10 VM spooled up on one of my vulnerable devices. And the automated pipeline I'm trying to build is it tries to bypass the antivirus on that. So every time it hits it, it pulls back a little bit more information, pulls it back, and uses DPAT to rewrite itself. So I'm curious when someone smarter than me will be able to actually implement that in the real world.
Yeah, I mean,
terrifying.
I mean, like just working with AI, right? Like with these different models, and just seeing within a month, right, or two, or however long it takes for whatever model you like, for them to come up with a newer model or newer version, right, of that model. You know, just from this to this, that change right there is drastic. I mean, so think in like 6 months, where do we think these models will be?
Depends on if we have a repeat of Fable and the government restricts them.
That's a very valid point. I was thinking, even just kind of to piggyback off of your question a little bit, something that I've even been wondering myself is, when will we get to the point where it's kind of like what you're saying, agentic malware, basically, but agents that are essentially able not to like run a whole like red team operation like end to end, but essentially more of like launching a swarm of agents for different tasks onto a target, essentially. Kind of like what you would think of with different worker agents, but at a different level, a different scale. Is just like a concept that I've been trying to wrap my head around. Think of if there's even like threat actors out now that are even trying to implement that concept, and like how that would even be defended against. Like, would it just be implementing specific detections, but kind of like what you're even pointing out with what you're trying to build with an antivirus, like takes a where your local model is just pulling a little bit of information from when it gets detected by the antivirus. I wonder if that's could even be implemented in that sort of way with like that agent swarm kind of idea.
I think we're already there as far as the individual agents doing things, because like the workflow even that I'm working on, I have 800 minis set up as individual agents, and they'll kick off all of my enumeration, feedback, everything to me, and give me recommendations for next steps. I tell it what to do, and they kick back off. So then I'm sure that when you start getting to large companies that focus on offensive AI, they've got that capability 100% better than I'll ever be able to implement it.
So I'm still like, I feel like we talked about this before, but the Flipper one, did we talk about that before?
We did.
Do we think that's coming out or not?
I think it'll come out. I don't think it's going to be on their deadline, though.
And then I'm still waiting on, I'm not going to get it, but I'm still waiting on that, what was the other? They were talking about something, and it like basically was like a little clock or whatever, and you would put it like where your monitor's at, and it would tell people you're in a meeting and X amount of minutes or left in your meeting until you're okay to speak. You know what I'm talking about? It was it
Not at all.
no. Uh,
I have very mixed feelings still on the Flipper one.
why
It's
is that?
very expensive for a small package.
It's
You
the
can-
busy bar. Sorry, it's the busy bar. That's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah,
You know what that is?
I do not. I'm going to look it up though.
I put it in the chat. Darius, have you seen this before? I just do it in chat. It's the company behind Flipper Zero made a desktop multi-tool to tell your coworkers to fuck off.
That's a good way to put it. I like it though. I was just looking at it right now. I
Yeah,
actually really like that.
yeah.
And literally, the perfect word is. Oh, literally, they even named it that. Something
Wow.
button for your desktop. The busy bar. I should get one.
I need that for work so that I could just have like 2027 on it.
I'm still waiting on. I want to see what it looks like. If I remember correctly, it did say something about connecting like two IoT devices in your house. So like having it as a not so much a server, but like a main dashboard, if you will, or what have you. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it turns out, man. But yeah, Flipper One. I'm waiting for that. I want that.
I would say the main like hardware thing that I've just been keeping my eyes on recently is it's spelled Monako, but Monaco glasses. I've been really keeping my eye on, and I've been in their Discord just kind of reading through some of the stuff they've been saying, and they definitely sound interesting. Just the basic concept or idea in general already kind of was very interesting to me. But even just after being in their Discord and seeing some more of like the information they provided in Discord, it's kind of even got me more hooked or like sold on like the idea at least. They definitely sound interesting to me. They're basically the simplest way to explain them or compare them is think about like the Meta glasses, just kind of a different like implementation, but just how they're trying to apply it and even the like thought process behind it. I definitely could. I would say agree with, and just been like I said, just been keeping my eye on them. I think they said they come out in like August or July or something like that.
Nice, right in time for DEF CON. Yeah, they're looks like they said they're the lightest smart glasses so far. Yeah, they look really thin, and they got speakers on them too. 40 something grams. That's crazy. So did you reserve yours already?
Yeah, I did actually.
Nice.
And then
Oh, it's based off Lua.
I'm trying to remember what the Chinese company is. They have the smart glasses, Even Reality, something like that.
yeah, I think it's something like that.
So that's the pair that I'm actually looking forward to. Because,
Okay.
well, the pair that I want, primarily so that you can hack the mobile app pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Meta app was a pain in the ass to break into. Because I've got a pair of the Meta smart glasses.
Okay.
But that's American companies make it very difficult to reverse engineer their apps, in my opinion. And the functionality on a lot of these smart glasses are very limited, and they're incredibly expensive for what they're giving you. But the even realities, the thing that makes those interesting, the lenses can come prescription, but they have these tiny light pathways through the lenses themselves to make the heads-up display cleaner.
Okay. That definitely is interesting. I think the main thing with the Monaco glasses is they are, it's built on like a custom Linux kernel, but then they said after the release of the glasses, they're going to open source all of their code on GitHub. So I just felt like that just really kind of, my idea was, okay, allowed me to get the glasses, kind of use them for a little bit, and then see what I could personally try to do to try to tweak them however I wanted, essentially. Not necessarily however, but see what else I could do with them.
Nice. So, Nintendo Switch 2, right? Like, because I mean, Jesse, I know you have, but Darius, like, what was your game of choice growing up?
So I would say when I was really, really young, my uncle and stuff, like his friends, used to play Madden a lot. So after watching them play Madden, I would say like probably like 7, 8 years old, I just like started playing Madden, and that's a game I got into a lot. And then probably my teenage years, I was really into like Call of Duty. Black Ops 2 was one of my favorite like Call of Duties. And then outside of that, I had cousins that had almost any like game device I could think of, like a Nintendo 64, a Dreamcast, a GameCube, a Xbox, a PS2, and then PS3 at the time. So when I would go to their house, I feel like we would just honestly play whatever they felt like at that time.
So did you grow up with like around like Nintendo, Super Nintendo? Have you ever play those games or those consoles?
So I did like at those cousins that I was just mentioning. I would say they had Super Smash Brothers, which I would say we ended up playing probably most. And then I'm trying to think of what else we would end up playing, but that's the main one that's like coming back to me. Oh, 007. I don't know like which like certain version.
With the golden gun?
I think it was the one with the golden gun.
The one-shot golden gun.
Exactly.
That was the one. The reason why I brought this up because I don't want to say I never heard of the Switch. I just never really paid attention to it. It didn't really like click with me or what have you. And I just got one today, and it gave me that old nostalgia feel of Nintendo and Super Nintendo. So like the game Super Metroid. You ever play that game? You play that game, Jesse?
The old Metroid games, yeah.
Yeah, so like they got a newer one that I don't know if it just came out maybe last year or whatever. I feel like all these ones they were talking about came out like 2025, but just seeing how much the graphics have changed from, because everything else has been like modern. Like if you play GTA, Call of Duty, all that, I mean it's been night and day. But like seeing it go from Super Nintendo to like the more modern consoles is crazy, man. Like I was just looking at that like that's crazy. Even Mario Kart, like how much has changed from the original.
Dude, I felt that way. So like my first game that I remember very clearly was Madden 98. So when I play like a new Madden game, I'm just like, fuck, I'm old.
That's crazy. I would say the first Madden I probably played, I wouldn't know like the exact one, but I would say it was probably closer to like who was on the cover. I'm really trying to remember.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I reversed engineered my first game before you were born.
Yeah, I bet. That's crazy to even think about. I think his name was Peyton Hillis. I think he was a Cleveland Browns running back or something.
Oh shit, that was like
40. But I think that was
like I think I was in college.
That's crazy too.
I think I was in college when I'm trying to remember that. Hold on. Are you looking that up, sir?
Let me look it up right now. I think that was his name.
Yeah, that was Madden.
It is.
Third mode Madden 12.
Yeah, actually, that sounds about right.
That was 2012.
That was only 14 years after my first Madden game.
I'm trying to think the actual my first one that I like was mine, right? Not like that I played, but like that was mine. It was Vic's when Vic was on the cover. 2004, I think it was. 2004, 2003.
It was
I guess.
2000.
Let's see. 2004. Okay, yeah, that's right. Because it was my freshman year. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, you're old too, guy.
Oh shit. But yeah, no. So yeah, Switch 2, man. I actually really like it. And the fact they have Cyberpunk on it, that was just kind of like the icing on the cake. I was like, yes. So I can now attach the glasses. So I got the 200-inch or whatever. It's some crazy movie theater type display on the glasses that it pushes out, but then I can use the actual Switch, either the console or put it to the big screen while I'm traveling or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
I actually haven't played Cyberpunk. Would you guys recommend it?
Really,
Yeah.
you have it. Oh,
No.
bro. Yeah, I would. I mean,
I've heard a lot of good stuff. Like I haven't heard. I guess when it first came out, I think maybe I'm getting confused with a different game, but I think maybe there's some bugs when it first came out. But
oh,
it's the
Yeah,
bug.
it's tragic.
yeah. Oh, it was bad, man.
But they actually stuck with the game, fixed everything, and then the expansion, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what was it? Phantom Liberty City? Is it
Phantom
what is
Liberty.
Phantom? There you go. Okay, I'm mixing GTA with what you call. But yeah, no, it's when it first came out, the first one was like shit, and I kind of stayed away from it. And then after they did what they did with it, the other iteration, and then all the little small iterations that they have done in the meantime, it's very well put together, man. Like,
Dude, I'm shameless. I pre-ordered that shit and played it on computer and had no problems.
yeah. But yeah, mine are on PC. I got the Xbox version too, but I just purchased a digital copy so I can wear it whatever I'm doing, where I'm at. If I got a PC, then I'm good. But this would be so much more easier,
Yeah, 100% recommend it. And something really interesting that the game covers, that if you think about real life, how much corporations have influence in the real world.
Mm-hmm. What console do you have?
So currently, what is it? An Xbox One, I think. But I would say honestly, over the past year or so, I haven't really like gamed much. But even just recently, I've been like considering just getting back more into it. I would say if anything, I'm gonna probably just set it up on my PC. Whatever I would do. I would say some of the games that have like piqued my interest recently, or even just like over the past couple years or so, would be Cyberpunk. What else have I wanted to play? That a couple games that like I previously played that I've been waiting for them to come out with a newer version. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Horizon.
Is that the car game? Is that a car game?
I do. So it's not a card game. There's a couple card games that I are interested in also, but Horizon, I guess the best way to explain the concept of like the story is robots were created, but like essentially how the robots, like what their fuel was vegetation, so trees, plants, whatever. So they ended up destroying the world, and now it's years later, essentially to where
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
What was
I think was one of the version. It was like the second one, or but essentially, it's kind of like an interesting concept, at least for me personally, because a perfect example was there was like a coffee cup that they had, but they were like, oh yeah, the people back in the olden times used to use this to put flowers in, and it was interesting to me to think of like how after a reset, how something even as simple as a coffee cup could be misinterpreted as a vase instead of a coffee cup, just stuff like that. But basically it's an interesting game. Like the main character, um I would say you end up like fighting some of the robots and stuff like that. But I really think the story is just kind of what had me hooked with that game.
It's based in the 31st century. Nice. So that's a little past Cyberpunk's time frame. But
that's after we kill the corporations. The world falls apart and turns into that.
fucking Osaka.
You play Cyberpunk, then that.
No, yeah. So I am a big fan, man. I will say that. I do like. I mean, there's very few games that I really enjoy, right? Because I just feel like they don't make games how they used to, right? Like, obviously the games back then were trash compared to what games are now. But I mean, even at that level, some of those games were amazing. Like, still, I would play over some of the more recent ones today, just because whether it's nostalgia or whatever it may be. But just, I don't know.
I
What'd
wouldn't
you
say
say?
trash. I think the technology is better, but I feel like due to censorship and attempting to be, accepted by everyone, writing has got really bland in new games. But I think the systems are probably better. So the technology under the hood. One of my favorite games is still Diablo 2. I feel
Well,
like a lot of the most successful games recently have either been indie or reboots of old games.
yeah, I'm talking about like more like Nintendo, Super Nintendo games. Like,
I just don't like Nintendo as a company anymore.
I,
They've gone off the deep end.
but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, even back then, when, like, way back then, um, some of those games, like, I would still play them today. The old school ones, like Killer Instinct, that was like one of my favorite games of all time. The Mortal Kombat's, Super Metroid. Um, I don't know if I liked all the Marios, but like the initial Marios were pretty cool.
I think the first two were good. After that, I was like, all right, this is starting to get repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, uh,
So let me ask you this. How do you feel about the fact that Sony said none of their games will be ported anymore? They will only be PlayStation exclusives moving forward.
That's crazy. That is interesting, actually. But I've
that's
always been like I've always been on like the PlayStation side, anyways. But I still feel like for someone that like has an Xbox now, for example, I would be upset for games like God of War. I just feel like there's a few games that still are PlayStation exclusives, but I just feel like if every game they came out with moving forward, I just feel like that would definitely be
Well, that's
setting.
PC ports are where I
Yeah.
fucking live, and that's like all like the Final Fantasy games outside of Final Fantasy Online. None of those will be ported moving forward.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. That's crazy. Sony ditches mention of PC release from business strategy document as PlayStation single player games now expected to be fully exclusive. Fully exclusive.
That means the only reason I'll buy a PS5 now is to put Linux on it.
Oh, I've actually seen a couple individuals like do something with their PS5. Like, that was the whole purpose they got it. I was like,
A
why
lot of
don't you just
people
get a
benchmark well.
why don't you just get a refurbished one then, and
It's
not
like when you
waste
buy-
another?
Well, no, you don't even get a refurb. You buy one that's got something simple damaged on it off eBay for like $150, spend $20, solder it yourself.
Man, so let me tell you something. So back when I was seventh grade, I needed football cleats. So this was like way back in the day. Like they had God, what was that magazine? East Bay, I think it was, where you would get your cleats and your visors and all that shit from. Um, man, that made me feel old. You remember Jet magazine? If you if you went into any older black person's house back in the day, they would have a copy of Jet magazine on their coffee table.
I'm trying to picture it right now.
The the mag the magazine?
Huh?
You
Just
talking
like
about
that.
the magazine?
Yeah.
Dude, that man, that's crazy.
And the only magazine I had in my house was thehouse.com's magazine for snowboards.
That yeah.
I just
That's
pulled up. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just pulled it up right now.
that's funny. I don't know why that but anyways,
That brings back memories.
yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. What were we talking about?
Your cleats.
Oh yeah, sorry. East Bay magazine, right? Cleats. I don't remember where I was going with that. Well, I'll pass it. It's all right. We'll punt it.
You're up, Darius.
Shoot. Speaking of cleats, but actually, that does bring up a good question. So, you played football and rugby and any other sports, or that was just it, or what?
Football, rugby, track and field. I didn't even make the basketball team. I got fouled out in training, or I fouled out like just in trying. That's non-contact sports weren't like my sports. Track was cool. But yeah, I did 4x4, 4x1, 100, 200. What was the other one we did? The shot, not shot put. What was the other one? Triple jump. I sucked at that shit, bro. They were like, "Oh, it's okay. You'll get it." Now I don't jump high, bro. I do everything else but jump high. Like, but so yeah, after that first, like, yeah, we're gonna stick you with 100, 200. We'll put you at anchor on the 4x4, 4x1. But yeah, outside of that, I'm trying to think. Nothing really outside of that. You?
It would mainly just. I would say I made, I think, like my 6th and 7th grade basketball team, and then after that, like I tried out for my freshman basketball team and didn't make it. My handles, I would say, are just terrible when it comes to basketball. I made the 6th and 7th grade team based off of like more of my defensive skill than like anything else. And then after my freshman year, I kind of just gave it up. But I played soccer heavy, like through middle school and then high school a bit, and then would just do mainly like track and field more. It was just like for fun, like my freshman and sophomore year. And then outside of that, like my main focus was really just soccer. But that's even why I was just asking, just to try to see like what else basketball and just generally what else like you did.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no,
I did basketball.
Yeah.
I played basketball through high school and realized I was short and white, so I stopped. Could dunk though. Did track through part of high school and middle school. I ran the 100 and 800 relay and full contact fighting all through school.
On purpose.
Most of the time.
Oh man, yeah, no, that's gonna bother me now. I totally like forgot what I was gonna say. I went down the Jet magazine route and just lost my whole.
Can't wait for you to rewatch this later and be like, oh yeah.
It was that. It's I'll bring it back up on episode 6. It's all good. All right, Darius, why don't you go ahead and grab something for us to talk about?
That's a good question. So, what?
It doesn't have to be It doesn't have to be anything with AI. It can be what it like.
just in general.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I would say just like in general, like AI, non-AI, just in general, like with cybersecurity. Just what are your guys' thoughts on mm, like how the field is evolving because of AI, but also just in general, like just due to more knowledge, more time, more research coming out, stuff like that. Because I would say a big question or big thought that I've had, at least personally, is even before, like I would say, like about 2 years ago when I first started getting into AI, into cybersecurity, excuse me. Um, Before like AI was really what it is now. Question that I've always had or that I've always realized, I guess, is cybersecurity at least definitely seems still very reactive to me. And I've just always wondered, like, I there are certain ways where I feel like continuous penetration testing stuff like that is coming more like proactive, like catching the threat or catching the vulnerability before it it hits the company before someone's negatively affected by it. Essentially, I still think there's stuff like secure code review stuff like that. But I meant as far as like an actual like threat actor like targeting the company. I just feel like what are ways that cybersecurity can become more proactive to, especially now with AI. I just feel like um, kind of like what Jesse was mentioning earlier. If he were to kind of get his bot or whatever that he's trying to build and launch it on a company, would it be able to move fast enough to the point where even if you did have the right detections in place, like you're the AI just moved faster than the humans could essentially. So that's what I just mean by like I wonder where the field could be headed as far as being more proactive instead of reactive, like in regards to AI, but just in general as well.
I think that AI's ability to iterate will always be faster than our ability to like comprehend what is happening in front of us. So I think if someone does successfully get AIs attacking like a company or one of your clients, so to speak, that if they don't have correct defenses up, then it's going to move a lot faster than we're able to. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago. One of the first AI hacks actually that was credited to a threat actor using AI. They used AI for all of their lateral movement and exfiltration after they did the initial access.
Mm.
So I think that we're already starting to see that in a sense. And I think it's only a matter of time till we see AI as the actual initial access as well.
I didn't even hear about that.
and then at what level are you saying? I mean, I think this goes back to like kind of what we were talking about a little earlier, where it's like at what layer are we really talking about it? Like you can say continuous pen testing, but are you saying like to what degree is the autonomy?
I would say, I think even more, my question isn't even necessarily about like the autonomy. I think kind of even what Jesse brought up kind of is answering the question for me a little bit more. But I think when I think about it, I'm just more thinking about like in terms of impact, like how Jesse was just bringing up that the AI did most of like the lateral movement and exfiltration. At least for me, it's just wondering like when do we get to a point where kind of is someone, I guess, just from initial access to exfiltration, I would say is kind of where I'm wondering how do we respond when we get to that point. I don't even, my question isn't even when do we get to that point, because I feel like it's going to happen. Like Jesse said, it's already happening. Just what's the best way to respond. And honestly, on the defensive side, but even on the offensive side, like how to learn and best use that to our advantage, to where it's still, we're still not fully relying on the system where there's still like a human in the loop, but also to where the human in the loop is mm, adding like a benefit as far as like quality, but also still not the speed, but it's still not slowing down the AI as well. Because I feel like that kind of goes back to my like other question is from initial access to exfiltration, like when do we get to a point where the AI is able to just do that so quickly to where we're not able to react, or the impact to the company is just too major before someone even realizes something's happening, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like, but again, though, like, at what point do we start seeing the implementation on the defensive side, right? Like, because right now we're not really seeing a lot of AI integrated into the defensive side of things, right? So we're seeing an increase on the offensive side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, oh wow, this is crazy. This is so much. This is happening. Well, we knew this was going to happen. Like, this wasn't like, oh well, we'll just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. No, we knew this was going to happen, right? That's the whole reason why we're going down this whole AI rabbit hole, right? Because AI will make it more efficient, will, save time, and it's a lot better than us in plenty of different ways, right? Obviously, we're just waiting for the point until it's to a point that it can do anything better than a human being. But at that point, like, even no matter what uh like fall safes you put in or fail safes you put in, it doesn't matter at that point, because on multiple accounts we've already seen these AI models do everything from create their own language so they can talk internally to shutting individuals completely out. Like, this has been proven multiple times in multiple different companies, right? Like big multi-million and billion-dollar companies. So it's like, it's not if, it's when, right? So like, the real thought process from on my end is like, okay, yeah, we see an increase of AI integrated with offensive and being utilized, right, in the wild. Okay, cool. So what are we doing on the defensive side? Have we started integrating more of this AI stuff on that end to kind of like be able to see this stuff coming, or are we still basing our stuff off IOCs, right? Off stuff that doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, okay, if we're basing it off the file size, we can increase the file size. If we're basing it off this string of data, we can just modify the string of data, and it's already bypassed those IOCs. So at what point do we have this AI integrated on the defensive side that can see past this bullshit, right? Then from there, it's just going to increase to the point where we're no longer in the loop, right? Like, how could we still be in the loop?
I don't think we'll ever be out of the loop just because of things like false positives. But it just goes back to historically, whoever's in the lead tends to bounce between it's either the offensive or defensive side as new technology and technology catches up. Then we're at a point in time where offense is way ahead of the blue team. But at some point, the blue team will catch up.
So answer this question. If we get to a point, right, where the same thing's happening with these other models that I was referencing a little bit ago, where they're doing stuff behind the human's back and they're creating these languages, doing all this, and we have to shut them down because of this, right? Because so we don't allow them to get to that point. If not, is not shutting that project down the same type of thing as it being compromised to the point where there's no usability out of it?
Let's say these models that you're talking about there, that's not been like specialty cyber models and things of that nature. I think that, like, I'll use DPAT as an example. It's publicly available offensive model. That model is being trained specifically on cyber. When you start getting outside of cyber, there's so much guardrail and everything that I don't think you'll ever have to worry about it trying to communicate with another model in your MCP or something like that.
So you don't think that there's no chance that it can get to the point where literally you have to kill the project because it's to a point where it's there's no turning back, like there's no saving it because it's already at a level where it's like you can't dumb it back down? Or
I don't really think so, because even like your frontier models for like Claude and everything, the biggest changes we're seeing is just the efficiency and reasoning, at like your token efficiency and things like that. We're not seeing the models get smarter, so to speak. It's just the efficiency at which they're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because and the way, so how most people look at it too is like they see that same thing getting faster, right? So they're thinking it's getting smarter. It's not the case. It's just able to get more granular and have more processes, right? So it's going to produce better output. But like, so you don't think that there'll ever be a time where the hardware's matches where it should be and allows it to just go directly off the fucking rails?
I don't think in AI as we see it currently.
Gotcha.
Now, I think something like that happening is more likely to happen in reinforcement learning when people start tying in self-learning loops for reinforcement learning. I don't think we're ever going to see that with an LLM. So I think that it was like, who was the two guys that wrote the original LLM paperwork? Sebastian Reuter, I think he was the one that said it. He said that LLMs are as smart as they will ever be already. That the efficiency thing is going to be the part that multiplies. He's actually researching what's next in the field.
What did you say his name was? Is it Sebastian Reuter?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Howard?
And Jeremy Howard, I think, are the two that wrote the original paperwork.
Yes. Is it going to give it to me? Nice. All right, throw that in the chat too. But yeah, you know me. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that you know, I gotta play devil's advocate. But outside of that,
we lost Darius.
Oh, did he drop? All right, well, we got about 8 minutes left or 7 minutes left. Oh man. All right, so
I mean, I've seen crazy things out of reinforcement learning, so maybe one day, but I don't think that we're there. I don't think Skynet's tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm not so sold on that. I'm more it's more of like locking individuals out and causing issues that way. That's what I don't think that like they're gonna grow arms and like start pillaging individuals in the streets. Like I don't see that happening. I just see, you know, it being integrated, or excuse me, ingrained so low level that it starts, you know, like planes start falling out the damn sky and shit, and then like, you know, lights start changing to all green and shit. Like, you know, you're muted. You're muted.
You say like mugging in the street. Have you seen the latest Boston Dynamic robots? They're actually wild.
You see, that's a whole nother level though. Like, but yeah, I mean, again, this next year is it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun just being part of this. Yeah, you're muted.
I think it's going to be like the next 5 years. I don't know that it'll be a year. It'll be
no,
five, because we're going to see it increase, then ride the wave down.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, this is the Rubicon. Like, this is it. But I'm saying this next year is going to be, it's going to be night and day, right? We're going to wake up a year from now and be like, just the transformation from here to there. It's going to be so crazy where it's just like, all right.
Also, Darius isn't here anymore, but the blue team side of things, the only interesting thing that I've seen recently is people are creating AI pipelines for threat hunting internally, which is pretty interesting. I'm going to try to get that approved to start implementing at my detection engineering job now to see if they'll let me run that.
Nice. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we got 4 minutes. This week, you're going to do the that or that. So pick your choice.
Oh, I get to pick.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We still got like 2 minutes, so, but yeah.
On that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'll give them a couple minutes to think about it. Let it marinate. But yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to see if there's any other one that stuck out. I think the Yeah, no, not that one. I don't really care for that one. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that really grabs my attention. All right, well, I'll give you another. What was that?
I got your this or that.
Okay, go ahead. You might as well just do it right now.
Mopar or JDM?
Oh. Wow. Jay. I'm gonna have to go with Jay. Yeah, you?
100%. Love my imports.
Okay. I was like, man, that's hard. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Eric, what's
Cool.
your car?
My favorite car? Uh that's hard. It depends on what my like are you just saying like if I like had money to purchase this vehicle or just like my favorite car period?
Give you 500K.
I don't know what I would buy. I'll tell you what I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't buy like Ferrari, Lambo, any of that. It would probably be something like Skyline.
What model? 32, 33,
Whatever the most beefiest model. I haven't really kept up with Skyline since Gran Turismo like fuck was it 4?
the old R32 Skyline.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't even
God.
know what they have, but it would probably be some type of Skyline.
So you could get a 240SX and they actually sell a body kit that makes it look like an R32.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty sick. I would say either a GTR or an early 90s when they changed to the round body of the RX-7.
Nice. Okay.
Because real motors have rotors.
All right, bro. I don't know what happened to Darius, but again, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, see you guys next week. All right, bro.
Take it easy, guys. This podcast was all over the place.
Y'all have fun. We'll see you next week. All right, bye.